So going down to number 2, I assume you finished 1B by yourself. So part 1 says a small pill capsule is pictured below. Find the volume of the capsule. So what shape is this? So it looks like we do have a cylinder in the middle. So we do have a cylinder. And then we actually have a half of a sphere on one side and a half a sphere on the other side. So we actually end up having one whole sphere, right? So when we put those two halves together, we have a whole one. So let's see, what do we know? So it looks like for the cylinder, we have the 10 going across the bottom. So the cylinder is 10 long. And then remember, whenever you have something going from the center of a circle to the outside, anything from the center to the outside, that's going to be our radius. So that means the radius of this, r equals 3. So we're going to have to use the formula of a cylinder, which in your notes is going to be the area of the bottom, which is pi r squared, and then you're going to times that by the height of the cylinder. Now remember, the big bottom is the circle, so you got to stand it on this big bottom. And so the height of this is actually 10, and the r is 3. So we're going to have to put pi r, oopsie, I should put a 3 right there, pi times 3 squared, and then times the height of the cylinder, which is 10. So we're going to have to put pi, use the pi button, don't round it right now, pi times 3 to the second power, which is 9, let's see, times 10. So I'm going to keep this going out a lot of extra digits, kind of like how we did sine, cosine, tangent. Keep lots of digits until you round your final answer. So it's what do I have here? 282.7433. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that right now, because that's the cylinder. And now I need to do the sphere. So that's putting those two ends together. So we know the radius of that is r is still equal to 3. And what's our formula? It is 4 thirds times pi, and this is r to the third power this time. So we need 4 thirds times pi times 3 to the third power. 3 to the third power. So if you don't know how to use that, look at your calculator. If you want to raise something to the third power, you can use a little thing that looks like a rooftop. So use that little thing that looks like a rooftop over by the x squared button. So you could put in 3 and then the little rooftop to the third power, and 3 to the third power, this is equal to 27. Check it out on your calculator. Make sure you know how to use that button. And then I have to times that by pi and times that by 4 ABC3. Okay, so I got 113 points. So for the sphere, the two pieces on the end all together, I have 113.0973. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my other number, plus 282.7433. So I get approximately 395.84. And this is millimeters cubed. So here's my rounded answer. So I found the volume of that. So let's look at what part 2 asks for. It says part 2, the pill case pictured below is 120 millimeters tall and has a radius of 20 millimeters. Approximate how many pills will fit in this case. All right, so let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and label my sides. I've got 120 tall, and the radius is 20 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to probably find the volume of this and then see how many of these go into it. So always think that yourself, like how many go into it, because then that's going to tell you that you're going to have to use some division, right? Okay, so let's find the volume of this. So this shape is a cylinder. So remember, you're going to find the area of the bottom, which is pi r squared, and you're going to times that by the height of the cylinder. So this is a pi times 20 squared times 120. Okay, so let's see what we got. Put that in your calculator, see if you get the same thing as me. Okay, I got a big number. 150,796.447. All right, so I got that. Remember, I'm not going to round till I get my very, 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 very final answer. So I like to have lots of digits while I'm doing my work. The pill case picture below. Okay, so this is the volume of my pill case, right? That. So that's the volume of that bottle, right? That's this guy. So I want to know how many of these go into it. So if I want to know how many of those, how many of these 395 go into here. So that would mean I have to do this number and divide it by my top number, 395.84. So I already got this hot mess on my calculator, so I could just hit divided by 395.84, and I get approximately 380.95. 380. Oh, I need a 0 right there. 0.95. Now I don't really love this problem because clearly those pills are not all going to fit in there because there's going to have a lot of airspace in between. So in theory, this is how many would fit in there if I crushed them in there. But we don't know how much air has to be in between them, and that's going to take a lot of extra work. But I think that this is all that they want us to do. Okay. So you're going to do the 2B. Let's make sure 2B is all set up for you. That's not it. Let's find 2B. I don't know if we have 2B on this slide. I will just look at it. So 2B, I can clip it on there for you real fast. It was on there. Disappeared. Okay, so we are just going to find the volume of this ice cream cone. So that looks like it's nothing fancy. You are given the information that you need. 1 cubic centimeter is approximately 0.034 ounces. How many ounces is the snow cone above? So you want to know how many of these are going to go into that snow cone. So it's going to be very similar. And then after that, you need to find the price. So that's going to be, if you want to know what something costs, you have to multiply by the price, right? So you should be fine to do that one. So do 2B and then play the next video when you get to this number 3.